Hey guys, welcome to the Max Invest YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to talk about some predictions for Chainlink's fundamentals. I want to specifically talk about where I think Chainlink is going to be at the end of 2022 from a fundamental perspective. And I'll also do some long-term predictions surrounding Chainlink and where I believe it's going to go. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. We just hit 1,000 subscribers and it would be much appreciated if you could help us keep this momentum. Also remember, nothing in this video is financial advice. The first metric that I want to discuss is Chainlink's integrations. You may know that Chainlink hit 1,000 integrations on the 2nd of December 2021, and by the end of 2021, Chainlink is at roughly 1,050 to 1,100 integrations, a massive amount of integrations for Chainlink. Now, an integration is essentially whenever something begins to use Chainlink, or whenever a company runs an Oracle node, or if a company starts using Chainlink's price feeds. It's generally just a partnership with the Chainlink blockchain that can come in all different shapes and forms. Some integrations are much bigger than others. For example, Chainlink's integration with Amazon Web Services is a lot bigger than Chainlink's integration with some of the Binance Smart Chain video games. I do believe that Chainlink's integrations will continue to grow exponentially. We know that at the beginning of 2021, Chainlink was integrated with roughly 250 different blockchain technologies. However, by the end of 2021, this is over 1,000. And we also do know that Chainlink's integration started to really speed up in October, November, and December. I do believe that this momentum will continue to carry forward, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Chainlink's integrations at least 3x or 4x by the end of the year. I would expect 3,000 to 4,000 integrations by the end of the year. On the very low end, it would at least double in my opinion. However, I do think we'll get over that 2,000 mark. There's a lot of different blockchain technology that's coming out that will integrate with Chainlink. For example, there's going to be a lot of decentralized finance applications that are built on Ethereum layer 2s and other blockchains that haven't been built yet. Right now, the majority of DeFi applications are concentrated to a few blockchains. Of course, Ethereum is the biggest one. When we see other blockchains start to rapidly expand their ecosystem, and we see Ethereum-based layer 2s also start to build and rapidly expand their ecosystems, there's going to be way more decentralized finance applications, and this will mean way more integrations for Chainlink in my mind, which is why I do think that this number will more than double and probably 3 to 4x. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is Chainlink's value secured. Essentially, Chainlink is securing $75 billion worth of value right now, and this is up 10 times from the beginning of the year. I also believe it's over 80 billion right now, if I am right. Currently, there is quite a lot of value locked on specific blockchains. The Ethereum network has roughly $160 billion worth, and a lot of these other networks have roughly $10 to $20 billion worth of value locked on their specific networks. I do believe that Chainlink will be able to capture the vast majority of this, and Chainlink will also be securing value from centralized finance applications. One example of this is Celsius, which is a blockchain lending protocol, and Chainlink actually secures their value. So I do believe there is quite a way of value and quite a lot more value for Chainlink to actually start securing, and I think that Chainlink would conservatively be able to get to $150 billion to $200 billion worth of value secured next year, potentially even more. It is a number that is very variable and depends on a few different factors. For example, if a big centralized entity starts using Chainlink price feeds and starts letting Chainlink secure its value, this number could be well into the hundreds of billions of dollars. However, if this doesn't really happen next year, we could definitely see Chainlink still securing $150 billion to $200 billion worth of value, purely confined to the cryptocurrency ecosystems that will probably start using it. So, in my opinion, these were some of the more boring predictions at the beginning of the video. This is things that Chainlink is already doing, continuing to grow. However, in 2022, I do think we're going to see the introduction of a lot of new different technologies from the Chainlink Labs team. Now, the technology that the majority of people are the most excited for is Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol. Essentially, what the cross-chain interoperability protocol does is it allows all of these different blockchains to easily connect with each other and easily connect with the real world. This solves a lot of different problems with blockchain. One problem which CCIP solves is token bridging. Essentially, if you want to move your assets from one chain to another, you need to use a token bridge. This costs quite a lot of money and it is actually quite insecure, and I am worried about the future of these token bridges. Another problem which CCIP solves is it solves the problem of fragmented liquidity. Essentially, there's a lot of applications that are deployed to multiple chains. So this means that one application like Aave could have $15 billion of value locked. But since Aave is deployed to Ethereum, alternative layer 1s and Ethereum layer 2s, this means that this $15 billion is spread out between all of these different chains. This means that there's actually not as much liquidity as you might think there is because it's all fragmented across chains. CCIP can actually solve this, and it allows smart contracts to actually operate between multiple different chains, and the liquidity doesn't become fragmented using CCIP. So, in my opinion, cross-chain interoperability protocol is going to be very, very big. And in the future, I do actually think CCIP is going to play a big role in abstracting away complexity. What it will do is it'll give users a very, very simple interface to interact with, and when you interact with this interface, you'll be able to use your favorite applications. However, you won't need to worry about which chain these applications are on because CCIP will be connecting everything together. In the future, I do actually see a world where most of the usage is on top of Ethereum layer 2s, and CCIP is connecting all of these layer 2s together and allowing these layer 2s to be used. One very good example of how CCIP works is what Celsius plan to do. Celsius are a traditional finance company and they plan to generate cross-chain yield for their customers. What this means is Celsius will go off and they'll yield farm some money and deliver this to their customers. This means that Celsius will be able to tap into multiple different chains to get this yield. They'll get it from Ethereum, Avalanche, Phantom, and some Ethereum layer 2s and deliver this yield off to their users. Of course, this isn't possible right now as currently a smart contract can only connect with one chain. However, through CCIP's derivative process, it's going to be able to connect to multiple different chains, which will be very great. Now, it's hard to predict when CCIP will be fully ready. In my opinion, 2022 will mainly be spent developing CCIP. I don't think cross-chain interoperability protocol will be used at scale in 2022. I do think that maybe by the middle to the end of 2022, we can actually see CCIP start being used and see a few different chains and a few different protocols using it. Currently, a lot of applications are planning and ready to use CCIP. One of these is the Ethereum name service, which actually wants to use CCIP to allow users to register their Ethereum names on different chains, and a lot of these protocols will use it as soon as it is ready. However, I do think that 2022 will be very much a year of developing CCIP, and by the time we get to 2023, I do think that it's going to start to be out. Of course, this leads me on to talking about the next thing. In 2020, Chainlink only offered one service really, and that service was data delivery. However, in 2021, Chainlink offered free services mainly. These services were verifiable randomness, data delivery, and Chainlink keepers. And in 2022, I do think Chainlink will continue to offer even more services. The first service that I do believe will be ready in 2022 is fair sequencing services, and what this does is it basically solves the problem of MEV. It looks like fair sequencing services will be used for layer 2s, and it will help them order transactions better to solve the problem of people trying to steal some money out of those transactions. If you don't know what MEV is, I probably won't explain it in this video. However, I do believe that this service will be ready. I also believe a bunch of other services services will be ready. Right now, we know that Chainlink has a ton of different things in the works, such as proof of reserves and complexity abstraction for smart contract developers. I do believe that in 2022, all of these services will start to be used, and this will be very good for the Chainlink ecosystem. I think that the service that will take the longest to be fully ready will be CCIP, and as you know, I just talked about that in the last slide. Also, the next thing that I expect for Chainlink in 2022 is the announcement of even more services. Chainlink outlined that they want to do more than just data delivery. They want to actually be the infrastructure layer behind a blockchain and offer every single service imaginable to all of these blockchains. So I do believe that in 2022 there's going to be even more services that start getting into development. Chainlink will continue to announce more and more different things, and they'll continue to build. We do know that the Chainlink team have been selling quite a few Chainlink tokens, and the reason for this is to actually get enough money to start developing Chainlink to make it the Omega protocol that we all want it to be. Now, another prediction that I have for 2022 is I do believe that Chainlink will expand to being more than just DeFi. Right now, the majority of the value locked in Chainlink is from decentralized finance, and a lot of people still view Chainlink as a DeFi token. However, in 2021, we actually saw Chainlink being used for a few other things. Namely, Chainlink was used for video game playing on blockchains because you could use verifiable randomness. However, I do think that in 2022, Chainlink will have an even bigger role in the NFT space. I can see Chainlink being used even more by NFT teams, and I do think that when Chainlink is on a lot of these layer 2s, it'll have a lot more to do because the fees will be a lot cheaper and a lot more blockchain games will be able to use Chainlink for every single transaction. So overall, I do think that Chainlink will expand into being more than just decentralized finance, and it should really be the infrastructure layer behind blockchains in general. Now, one of the more adversarial things to talk about with Chainlink is Chainlink Staking. And of course, if I'm making a 2022 predictions video, I can't not talk about Chainlink Staking, because this is the thing that the majority of people want to see happening. What Chainlink Staking does is it's going to make it more difficult to attack the Chainlink network, increasing Chainlink's security. Chainlink Staking is going to have a super linear effect. This means that the more Oracle nodes that tap into the Chainlink network, the harder Chainlink is going to be attacked. I'm not going to explain the details of Chainlink Staking in this video, however I have done a dedicated video to it, and I will leave a link up to that video if you would like to check it out. Now, a lot of people are wondering, when will Chainlink Staking come out? And I do believe, and I did actually predict, that we would get an announcement about Chainlink Staking by the end of 2021. However, that never materialized, so I was incorrect there. However, I do believe that late 2022, we should actually see Chainlink Staking begin to materialize, or even early 2023. I do believe it'll probably take roughly one more year and it should start to materialize. Now, I do think that the Chainlink team will actually start talking about staking quite soon. Sergey Nazarov has talked about it in a couple of different posts, and the Chainlink Labs team have been detailing how it will work. So, I do believe that we should actually get an announcement quite soon about Chainlink Staking. I hope that we can get one in the first half of this year, and we can actually see Chainlink Staking start to materialize late 2022 or early 2023. Now, a lot of other people will be wondering, how will you stake your Chainlink and how does this even work? Right now, Chainlink team have not detailed how individuals will be able to stake their Chainlink, or if they will actually be able to stake their Chainlink. I know this sounds a little bit weird. The worst case scenario for Chainlink staking is only Chainlink Oracle nodes are allowed to stake their Chainlink. However, I do think that this is very unlikely, and a lot of people in the Chainlink community are saying this won't happen. Most notably, some of the biggest Chainlink services like Linkpool are starting to actually prepare their own users for Chainlink staking. So I don't think that this will be the case. What I think the most likely case will be is there'll be some sort of a delegation process. So users will be able to delegate their Chainlink tokens to Chainlink Oracle nodes who will then stake those Chainlink. So what you'll be able to do is you'll probably be able to delegate Link to something like Linkpool or Link Forest and earn some yield from this link. Of course, this is quite different to normal layer 1 blockchain staking. However, we do know that Chainlink isn't a blockchain, it's an infrastructure layer on top of blockchains, and its staking mechanism is very, very different. So you can expect that you'll probably be able to delegate your tokens somewhere, and you'll be able to earn hopefully roughly 5 to 10% yield from doing so. It's of course going to depend on how much fee revenue the Chainlink Oracle nodes can actually receive. Regardless, I do predict that Chainlink staking should come out at the end of 2022 or the beginning of 2023, and we should get an announcement before that. Let's see if my prediction can come true. My next prediction is that even more companies will begin to run Chainlink Oracle nodes. We know that this year in 2021, a bunch of different companies started to run Oracle nodes, such as the Associated Press, Swisscom, and AccuWeather. However, I do believe that 2022 should be a bit of a breakout year for companies running Oracle nodes. Now, the reason I believe this is because Amazon Web Services has made it very easy to run a Link Oracle node. AWS integrated with Chainlink, and what they did is they made it quite easy for any company to tap into AWS and start running a Link Oracle node, which will be great. Essentially, there's endless benefits to running a Chainlink Oracle node and almost no downside. What that means is it means that traditional companies will start monetizing their data. So they'll start getting their data and sending it off on chain. And for doing this, they're actually going to be getting paid. Essentially, every time a smart contract developer wants to use this data, they will pay for this data. They'll request the data, the Oracle node will actually give them the data, and then the Oracle node will receive a payment for giving them the data. I do believe that all this means is that companies will be able to get money for free. All they need to do is send their existing data on chain and they'll get some free cash. So overall, I do think a bunch of big companies will start running Chainlink Oracle nodes, and I do think it'll be a lot more than in 2021. I can envisage heaps of different companies starting to come on board, and this being a trend that continues to go on for years to come. Now, the next prediction I have is that a lot more traditional finance companies will start using Chainlink. Right now, the main things that use Chainlink are cryptocurrencies and DeFi applications. However, if we think about what Chainlink actually is, what Chainlink is doing is it's collecting all of the world's data. All of these different entities are running Chainlink Oracle nodes and giving Chainlink that data, which Chainlink then feeds out to the rest of the world. Chainlink can feed this data out to blockchains and smart contracts. However, Chainlink can also feed this data out to traditional companies. One example of this is Chainlink recently integrated with one of the biggest finance companies in Asia. I forgot their name. However, when Chainlink integrated with this company, what it meant is Chainlink are giving them price feeds. A traditional company is actually using Chainlink's price feeds in order for them to operate. Now, I do believe that all of these traditional companies need data, and Chainlink can provide them this data in the most secure and the best way. So I do think that Chainlink will actually grow into a role as being the data center of the world, and then providing this out to a bunch of different companies and a bunch of different blockchains. Of course, Chainlink will need to use crypto rails to do this, but it's very, very cool to see that traditional companies can just immediately tap into Chainlink, and I do want to see this go on into the future. So, I want to talk about some final thoughts about where I see Chainlink going in the next year and the next couple of years. Of course, I've already said I do see Chainlink being a global data provider. In 2030, 2040, and 2050, I can see Chainlink containing all of the world's information and using cryptocurrencies and blockchains to actually deliver this information everywhere. If we look right into the future, I can see this, and this makes Chainlink's value proposition absolutely absolutely massive. I also see Chainlink as an abstraction layer, and this comes back to CCIP. I see users interacting with simple interfaces and CCIP connecting everything underneath it and making everything easy for users to connect to. And lastly, I also view Chainlink as a truth machine. Chainlink will have all of the data and it will securely deliver it. We will be living in a trustless society, and trustless basically means that we won't need to trust anyone. All we'll need to do is trust Chainlink and the blockchain. This means that people can't let us down, companies can't let us down, and the world is going to operate a lot more smoothly. If everything is completely trustless and based on actual truth, I do think this is going to be a better place to live in, and I think Chainlink can revolutionize the world. Of course, I do see all of these things starting to play out in the long-term vision of Chainlink, and I do see 2022 being another great year for Chainlink fundamentally. Anyway, this brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching the video.